Hey, so since the James Gunn announcement, you guys have probably been aware that a lot of DC books have started to pick up a little bit. They haven't exactly exploded. I think some of that's a little bit of hyperbole. But there's also been a lot of talk, should you be buying DC books now or should you be selling books now? The argument that you should be buying now is that this is probably the cheapest that you can get them now. And then should you be selling them now is because this is probably as high as you can get them and you can probably get them cheaper later. So both kind of have merits in them, but they also kind of ignore the stance of the position of the person that they're speaking to. Because if that person already has the book since last year, then they could be in a dilemma on whether they can sell it now. Or if they don't have it, then they're in the dilemma whether they should buy it now. So it's two different people in two different positions here. Or it could be the same person with two different books in two different positions. Anyways, I don't think you should be doing either. I don't think you should be buying right now, and I don't think you should be selling books right now. And I'm going to explain to you why. Right now, there's a general misconception that the FOMO behind the DC stuff is being driven by collectors who are in fear of missing out of having a specific key in their collection. But I don't necessarily think it's true for the books that you will be seeing in the hot top 10 list. Like, I've seen one list yet, but the Comic Time doesn't come out till later, but I guarantee you it's going to be most of the literal keys. I can understand FOMOing out over a book for collectors who have been saving up for their Showcase 22, their first Hal Jordan, their House of Secrets, their Action 252. I can understand that. Like, people have been, those are really big books, and people have been saving up for those. And DC's been kind of quiet, and then all of a sudden, boom, it explodes, and now they're gonna have to pay even more. And I feel that. I really do feel that one. But I think when for smaller keys like this one, and probably this one, and to some kind of degree these right here, I don't think it's necessarily true, because I think DC collectors who wanted Amanda Waller's first appearance could have easily gotten it at any time. Like, I found all of those in like a dollar bin in some barn in Maine or something. And I think that can also kind of go true for this book as well. I think people who really wanted Booster Gold probably already have a copy of Booster Gold. Maybe they want to upgrade now to 9.8. Maybe that's what they were doing. Maybe they were saving up for 9.8 and they're kind of missing out on that. But I think other than that, people who are a fan of Booster Gold probably already have this. So I paid like $50 for this a couple years ago, $50 shipped. Now I'm in the position on whether I should sell this, right? There's some people say, yeah, you sell it, get rid of Booster Gold, you can probably buy it cheaper. But if you've been doing this for a little while, you know that when books spike, they do come back down, but they usually don't come back down to the position they were before the hype. So for example, I paid $50 for this shipped a couple years ago, right? I do not think that anytime between now and the movie that I will be able to pick up an 8.5 $50 shipped. Now this book might get lucky, you might get lucky, but that is not going to be the GPA of this book anymore. All right, I think the last sold for this was like on eBay was like $90 plus shipping. So I do not think it's the time to sell this at all. The reason I feel like right now it's not the time to sell it is because we're still in a down market. If you see how much these books went up for, it's really not that much. If you've seen other books spike, they go by a lot more. Now 9.8s are a different beast, all right? And we have to kind of look at those a little bit different. If you look at the 9.8s, and those 9.8s do kind of tend to exponentially explode, then you get a kind of a different picture, right? The thing with 9.8s is speculators love 9.8s, flippers love 9.8s, because those are the ones that shoot up the most in price, the quickest and the fastest. But you really don't want to buy a 9.8 now, because those things, when the hype goes down, those are the first ones to come down, and they come down the hardest, right? I mean, we literally just went through this with a lot of the modern Marvel stuff. 9/8 shoot up the fastest, but they also crash the hardest. Just keep that in mind. So do not ignore the data from lower grades, right? Because I feel like lower grades give you the truth on whether collectors actually want this book in their collection, or if the book is just being flipped. If nobody's really wanting this book, your 9/8s are just sitting on a house of cards ready to crash. But if your lower grades are selling at a pretty decent rate and some pretty decent gains, then you can be kind of safe that there is a desire for this book as well. So again, not a book I would freak out about. And if you're selling, I don't think it's a time to sell. If you're trying to buy a Booster Gold for whatever reason, you think you might like this character, or maybe within the last week you've been reading it up. Well, it's been a week late now. You're a week late. The hot top 10 list comes out probably tomorrow, whatever. And I'm gonna say, and I've always said, if it's on the hot top 10 list, you're too late. You're buying the flip already. So if you're gonna buy the flip, you might as well wait a couple months till the hype dies down a little bit. Then you can buy in. You're still gonna have to buy in at a premium price. You're not gonna get Booster Gold at 8.5, $50 shipped. I mean, I think that ship has sailed, but you can probably still get it for 90 shipped. You might get lucky, get 80 shipped, or you might get lucky, get 50 shipped. Who knows? Who knows? That is not going to be the GPA. Again, with these other books, same thing. If you just wait, they'll come back down, and you can just buy in, because you're going to buy in at a premium. You're already buying into the flip, so you might as well wait. So again, right now, I don't think it's a time to either buy or sell these DC books. What I would do is, if you guys are interested, start looking for some secondary keys, some minor keys, some keys that are not directly affected. Because usually I like to, go based off intuition and stuff I read and stuff that's good. Not necessarily a numbers guy, because I feel like numbers can be misleading sometimes. But people need numbers before they jump in sometimes, and that's like the majority of people. So I think right now, if you use your intuition and just try to find some lower keys that you think, oh man, this would be cool if they did something with this character or whatever. Some of the ones that I can think of is like, I know Swamp Thing, the big keys are House of Secret 92, Swamp Thing Volume 1, number 1, 2, and 3, because it has Anton, Abigail, and Alec Holland. Those guys are in those 3. So not necessarily in that order. So those 3 are probably going to be the biggest keys for Swamp Thing to be on the lookout for. Also, I think the Atom number 1, that's first Jason Woodrow, who later becomes the Floronic Man. That one might be one worth it. That one's a Silver Age key though. One that people don't really speak on about is Swamp Thing number 90. Something like that, like something that nobody's really thinking about. This is the first appearance of Tefe, the daughter of Swamp Thing, who later on gets her own series. That makes me kind of feel good about this is, one, it's got a direct relation with Swamp Thing, but she's also tied to to Swamp Thing by Nancy Collins. And that run is kind of known for not as much horror, but it's kind of like Dad Swamp Thing. So, but it still has some horror elements, this kind of thing, some stuff like that. Other books, like there's a whole bunch of Green Lantern keys that nobody's looking at. One of my personal favorites is the first appearance of Dexstar and the origin of Dexstar, the Red Lantern. So these are just like kind of minor keys, just looking outside the box if you do want to get into DC. Just don't look into my LCS, because I've pretty much cleared them out of Green Lantern and Swamp Thing keys. So anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. And again, this is for new collectors who are looking to get their grail, not necessarily for people who are trying to turn this into more than a hobby, or people who are more focused on social media and stuff like that. That's it. And I hope DC is great, and I hope it brings something that everyone will enjoy, and hopefully, heroes are going to be awesome. All right, cool.